Right, well, welcome to the quick video of the 110 Defender, Land Rover Defender that I got for sale. As you can see, it's expedition equipped, but I'll talk you around all the features. I guess first just some kind of summary information on it. It's a black edition, it's a special edition. It's called a black edition. So they made about, I think, 100 of these. They did the 90 and the 110. So it's a very limited edition. I think it's somewhere between 100 and 120 models, vehicles that they made in this special edition. So it's obviously very rare. So it's a 2002, it's a 52 plate, and it's a TD5 model, so it's the 2.5 litre TD5, which is the, well, some argue the better engine. You can tune it quite well, much more than you can tune a 300 TDI or a 200 TDI. So anyway, this is the one I went with. It's TD5, like I say, diesel. It's MOT'd until August this year. It's had some advisories last time round, but I got all those jobs done on it anyway, so yeah, that's all done. Right, so being the limited edition, black edition, extras on it, I'll just open the door, you can probably see inside. We've got leather seats, front and rear, so it's full leather interior. It's quite good condition as well, and it's actually got the white stitching as well. You get the air conditioning, it's basically the XS spec, but it's also got like this particular black and white stitched leather seats all round. That's pretty good condition. No rips or tears in it really. You can see. Other things you get on a black edition, you get this roll cage here. It's a front half roll cage. Some people sprayed them black, but this is the original silver colour that came in. Also factory fitted was the checker plate on the wing tops, down the sides, the quarter, the rear tail. Extra bits I've added on, but it's got a NAS rear step on it with checker plate, and it's got the side steps with checker plate, so they're extra over above spec. That's kind of what you get really with it. Other things, so obviously there's quite a lot added onto it. So, like I said, the air conditioning does blow ice cold. That's good. I've also got these Defender demisters on, so these are brilliant bits of kit. These actually funnel some of the air from the top vent onto the side window, so you actually get to demist your side windows as well as your front windows. Joy. We've got a RAM mount there with a custom 3D printed kitting that goes in the ashtray, so that's quite good for holding your phone. Like I say, RAM mount to the best you can get really. We've got a Scorpion centre console, and in here we've basically got a CB as well, Midland CB radio. Cup holders, obviously. Underneath we've got a lockable drawer. Just open this. You can see, and slide it back. And we've got bits and pieces in there, but basically we've got a lockable drawer inside as well. Got mats in all round, front and back. Got a bit of space behind the seats for storing, in my case, bits of tools and spare parts and whatnot. Headlining, just to show you that quickly, there's a hole in the headline. It did actually have a TV, a flip down TV, but the TV broke, and so I need to get either a replacement, or I was going to get a replacement, or just maybe a new headlining, but it obviously needs something to cover that hole. So you can get centre consoles. I was going to get a centre console or a new TV for it, but I don't really watch TV, so it's not my interest really. So, but yeah, it's got a full headlining in it. Got the gull wing doors on the side here. I'll actually show you those open. There's some gas struts still to be fitted on them, but we've got the gas struts for them. But you've got basically 3 gull wing doors. So obviously on top you can see we've got the Tough Trek roof tent, which is a really fantastic bit of kit. It's not one of those flimsy plastic things. This is actually an aluminium roof tent. On top of it we've actually got some roof bars as well that basically bolt down onto the frame. And that's for things, well in my case I've got a canoe, Canadian canoe that goes on top and I'm lashing down, so that's for the canoe. But you can put ladders and all sorts on there. Yeah, so expedition equipment then, so Tough Trek roof tent. We've obviously got this awning here on top as well. So the awning is an ostrich wing 270, so it's 270 degrees. As you can see, it wraps around. It is actually freestanding. I've just, for the purpose of the photographs, I've put the legs down on it. but you know, you don't need the legs up. As you can see, it's completely freestanding, as proven by the fact it's fallen off. They just clip in basically. You can see they just have like a ball joint, so it just clips into there. You can take them off completely or just leave them strapped up, it's up to you. So basically, yeah, it's completely freestanding ostrich wing. This is the best you can get. If you Google for them, there's some copies of them that are quite weak. This is the only one that will basically stand up to the UK weather, in my opinion. It is actually not quite up. There is actually another piece that goes up there, and but I can't reach. But basically, that goes up as well and tightens it all up. So that's the ostrich wing. Ostrich wings, if you don't know, they're about 1,300 quid. I think I paid for that. So this is expensive gear. The roof tent itself, let me have a look, what did I pay for the roof tent? That was $3,000 for the roof tent. It actually sits on a Patriot roof rack, so the Patriot or Trek Overland, you want to call it, basically Patriot roof rack. Roof rack itself, what was that? That was about 1,800 quid, I think it was, for the roof rack. Obviously it's got the ladders on as well. And then on the back here you can see we've got the Trek Overland aluminium solid rear pod, what you want to call it. It's actually called a Trojan, so it's Trek Overland Trojan aluminium canopy. So quite lightweight, but obviously quite secure, quite sturdy, and designed specifically for the 110 double cab. Got some access ladders up there. If you wanted, obviously if you've got the wing out, you can't climb up the rear ladders, so there's a side entrance, some side ladders up there to get in. Really thick denier sort of canvas. It's absolutely fantastic. If you Google them, you'll see how good quality they are. So yeah, that's it really. It's got quite a lot of other things on it. It's got spotlights on the roof, spotlights on the front. You've got a lot of light when you're driving at night with this. It's had a lot of jobs done on it as well. I've had it for I think 2 or 3 years now, something like that. And I've just spent a fortune on it. The only reason I'm selling it is because I'm looking to get like an ambulance, a 130 ambulance to make into a camper. It's the only reason for selling it. Otherwise I wouldn't have spent all this cash on it. But there we go. That's the hobby of Land Rover, isn't it? So jobs it's had done on the front. Well, I'll start with the engine actually. In fact, I'll just flip the bonnet for you. I'm going to talk you through what it's had in on the engine bay, but you can't see it all. It's all covered up. But basically, it's got a Turner Engineering or an AMC head on it. So with TD5, this is a 15p engine. If you Google it, there's two sorts of the earlier 10p and the later 15p. So better engine basically. However, it does still suffer some problems. One of the problems that this did suffer was basically getting oil mixing in with the diesel. So you can always tell because if you dipstick it, check the dipstick level, it kind of goes up over time. So it's a common problem on them, even on the 15p engine. So the best way to fix it, if you're bothered about having quality in your Land Rover, is to fit the Turner Engineering AMC head. About £2,500 all in, including fitting. So that's about a year old, that head. So that's all been done. We've also got, again, you can't really see this now, but under here we've got a live tuning. So if you remember TD5 Alive, or Alive tuning as they're now called, intercooler. So it's bigger intercooler. We've got new pipework. We've got silicone turbo hoses everywhere, as you can see. We've got a new map sensor, new MAF sensor. It's been serviced with a new air filter. And it's also got a stage 2 tuning as well. So it's Gary at 5 Alive tuning did that as well. So it's a proper tuning, and it really, you can really tell it really goes very, very fast, very, very rapid compared to how it was stock. So that's kind of what's had done under there. What else have we had done? Suspension wise, we've had the Gwyn Lewis supplied me the kit, which is again, if you speak to Gwyn Lewis, he's the man in the industry that knows everything there is to know about Land Rovers basically. But he does a lot of upgrades. One of the upgrades that he supplies is the old Man Emu coil suspension spring and gas strut setup. So this is basically probably, I think, the most expensive kit you can get from Gwyn, but it's worth it. This is basically like night and day. If you compare this with some cheap stuff, you know, there's obviously, you know, things like, well, there's cheaper brands, isn't there, right? We all know that. I'm not going to name them, but there's cheap shit out there. You get what you pay for. So with this being, I wouldn't say top heavy, but obviously it's got quite a bit of roof weight at the top. It really needs the best set of springs and shocks you can get. as well as that, we had the what they call these cone things. They're all galvanised as well. So everything, base suspension wise, it's all new front and rear. Difficult to show you, but if you look here, you can kind of see it. Rear springs as well. So, and again the rear shock. These are about 2-3 months old, those shocks. So yeah, we've had the bushes everywhere. What you see there, poly bushes everywhere. So all the bushes have been done, including the A-frame ball joint has been done as well. So yeah, that's what need doing. Chassis on it is absolutely mint. Obviously, like every Land Rover chassis, it's got a bit of surface rust everywhere. She's 20 years old now, so I don't expect something brand new, but it's basically been wax old all its life. I've actually last year covered it in Lanagard as well, so it's basically been looked after. So the chassis is absolutely solid on it. I've got boost alloys with, what have we got here? I forget what tyres I've got. Continental tyres on it, but they're all the tyres are good, like at least 9-10mm of tread on them, so you won't need tyres for a long time. So that's kind of it really. I'll just start it up so you can hear it running, and then we'll go for a quick drive in it. There's no black smoke or anything like that. You know, if you look at the back of it, it's not smoking or anything, as you can see. So yeah, right. I'll quickly show you what's in the back, because we've also got some goodies in the back as well. Right, so what we've got in the back here, you can see we've got quite a lot of electro gubbins and some fuel and a diesel heater. So we've got a diesel night heater here, which is all plumbed in to a separate fuel tank. So we've got yeah, a fuel tank which has got the pickup at the top, so nothing can leak out the bottom, unlike some of the other cheaper ones. And then we've got, starting off at the top, we've got the CTEC D250S dual split charger. So basically what it is, it takes the power from the leisure battery, sorry, beg your pardon, power from the alternator, and then it charges the leisure battery, which is actually in the back. So it charges the leisure battery, and then once the leisure battery is fully charged, it then also charges your engine battery. Again, when I say it charges your engine battery, obviously your alternator charges that, but you can basically plug a solar panel into this as well. So basically if you're on a campsite, whatever, the solar will charge through the CTEC, and then, like I say, charge the leisure battery first, and then it will also start topping up your driver's engine battery. So that's great. On the go, we can start charging the leisure battery, but we can also boost it to, I think it's 120 amps or something like that. So the smart pass basically boosts the charge. So long story short, it means that your alternator and solar will just charge your battery a whole heck of a lot quicker, because it's sticking a lot more amps in it. So that's a smart pass. And on the bottom we've got the M200, which is the, basically if you run a mains hookup, you can plug this in to mains hookup at a campsite, whatever, and then again you can charge your leisure batteries with this. Got expensive gear, Blue Sea fuse box, battery to battery, kind of, what's that called? I forget what they call it now, but basically it measures your volts in and out and all that good stuff. Remote control for the heater. So basically the idea with this is I'll be basically to pipe it, and it's not piped up yet, but basically be able to run a pipe up into the roof tent and keep nice and cozy. So that's like the electrical gubbins bit. On the other side we've basically just got a storage space here. This was going to get kitted out with a sort of proper kitchen fitted sort of unit inside with a table pull out, but at the minute it's just storing stuff like my cooker and stove and whatnot. So it's quite a nice deep storage area at the side. You notice the gas struts, I've actually got the gas struts, they're not fitted. The gas struts are at the minute down here on the floor. So basically, yeah, they when I get around to it, they won't fit in, and then it'll stay open basically. And in the back, again, I've got full of Volkswagen Beetle wheels in there back, but if you can ignore that for a second, you can see we've got quite a lot of space in here. We've also got some switches in the back and some 12-volt sockets and things like that. There's a leisure battery under there as well. You can probably just see the leisure battery under there. A lot of space underneath as well for storing other bits of kit. So that's that cat. As you can see, it's all carpeted as well. Keeps it nice and warm. just quickly show you how quick it is to close this up. Obviously just taking the metal support posts out from the side. That's only a 2-minute job, if that. But basically just pulls down like that, and that's it. All you've got to do really just make sure everything's tucked in. All you've got to do is go around and get the corners in like that. Make sure everything's sort of tucked in. Just checking on the side. Sometimes there's a bit that comes out the side, you just got to push in. Check the other side. And that's kind of it really. Pull these locking tabs down. I always put a little tiny little carabiner on just in case, just to stop flying up if it ever wanted to do. And that's that. Done, packed up. That's how quick it is. Okay, right. The sheep are being fed, so it's time to go for a drive. So like I say, it's had the stage 2 remap, so it's absolutely fantastic to drive. I've had about 23, 24 Land Rovers over the years. It's a crazy amount. I've had series Land Rovers, series 2, series 3. I've had Discoveries, I've had Range Rovers, I've had many Defenders. I've had this, like I said, 2 or 3 years, something like that. But basically, this is I'd say the best. I got this into now. It's the position where it's the best driving Land Rover I've ever had, and I'm not just saying that. It's basically, it's like I said, the remaps made a massive difference. It's just super fast now. It just accelerates. It's better fuel economy. Doesn't hesitate. It just wants to go all the time. It's just hard to describe. If you've ever driven a normal you know, normal TD5. Obviously there's quite a lot of poke in them, but if you get, you know, if you get it tuned so, you know, the engine does what it was designed to do in the first place instead of being held down, you'll just see how good it is. So yeah, it's fantastic really. Can't complain at all. It goes into 4-wheel drive, all good. You know, diff lock works, 4-wheel drive works. See if I can just show you that now. Basically, just go into low range. There we are. Right, we're into low range now, as you can tell. Let's go into diff lock. Diff lock with low range. Let's come out of diff lock and back into normal. Fantastic. We're a bit low on juice. Probably should go to the fuel station first, but just take it up and run up the hill first. Let's give it a go. There's no warning lights on the dash. My fuel light will probably be warning me in a minute, but there's no warning lights on the dash at all. It's got oomph. You know, I'm pulling up in third now. It's just touching the accelerator ever so slightly, and it just wants to go. It's exactly how it should be. Fan-bloody-tastic. It looks like it's not going straight because the steering wheel, I actually had the steering fixed on it, so it's all been pulled apart, put back together by a mechanic, and it basically just needs resetting so it's straight, if you know what I mean. So I'm going straight now, but it looks like I'm going 2 o'clock. So that just wants pulling off and just twisting around, so I'll get that done. But yeah, if I just put the, right, there's no one behind me, so I'm just going to put the brakes on now. See, it doesn't pull to one side or anything, it just stops nice and straight. No clunking from the gearbox, anything like that, it's all good. So yeah, it drives absolutely amazing. I can't keep saying the same thing, but I'm 2 minds whether to sell it. I've basically built my perfect Land Rover now. What's I built? I've had all the toys fitted on it. It's basically a perfect Land Rover now, and I just get bored. I just fancy a Pulse Land Rover, you know, one of the ambulance body ones. They're so expensive, but I don't know. I just thought I quite like them. Brakes are really sharp on this as well. Absolutely spot on. I mean, the reason I bought this, if you come and look at it, you'll see the same. It's original, right? Most times you see an Land Rover, it's 20 years old. It's been pulled apart, the wires have been pissed around with, and people have adding things on. This is original, alright, yeah, it's got the roof tent on and, you know, the NAS step on and things like that, and the gull wing. But mechanically, it's just as it left the factory. No one's been pissing around with it, which is really important, because believe me, the last Land Rover I had, it was a blue sort of 300 TDI, and it was good, but it had been converted from a station wagon to a pickup, and you know, when just all the wires were all wrong and things like that, it was just nasty. And the reason I bought this was because the other one was quite bad like that, and this was absolutely original. You know, I haven't tried to wax oil underneath the chassis and hide things. When you come and look at it, you'll see the chassis for what it is. You'll be able to knock it, and you know, you'll see it exactly how it is, which is really important. If you go and see a chassis that's all been wax oiled and treated, you just, I mean, garages do this. Obviously, garages are trying to sell your vehicle and they want to make it presentable, but much better to look at one before anyone's trying to tart it up. And this, right, this is actually, you know, I haven't even cleaned this. I've given it a quick hoover out. It's not been valeted or anything, and it's already, as you can see, quite tidy. Both inside and outside. It's had literally a bucket of water chucked over it. You know, I've not detailed it or anything, and you can see it's got little scratches in it here and there. You know, it looks quite shiny, the bonnet, but everything's quite shiny on it. But it could do with a bit of detail and a good polish. It's never had a polish, I don't think it, you know, not since I've had it anyway. So yeah, that'd be a good thing to do to it. There's obviously little scratches, being 20-year-old Land Rover, little tiny marks on it. But really, for, you know, again, better buying one like this than one that's been resprayed and God knows what's underneath it. This is original paintwork, so you can see how it's actually quite shiny, but it's all original. Nothing to hide with this. Another thing with Land Rovers, obviously a lot of them get stolen, so you don't want to buy a stolen one, obviously. This is all genuine. You know, I've had it for a few years. You can HPI it, do what you want with it. It's all genuine.